What if your exhaustion isn't from doing too much but from giving too much to the wrong people? What if protecting your energy is the ultimate act of self-respect? What if silence, focus, and solitude are the tools that rebuild your power from the inside out? Welcome back to my channel, Stoic Friends. Have you ever opened your eyes and felt like the world was already trying to break you before your feet even hit the floor? Your soul's already tired. The weight of expectations, pressure, fake smiles, loud thoughts, all crashing down in silence. You stare at the ceiling, frozen, dreading a day that hasn't even begun. I know that feeling, that quiet war inside your chest, the kind that doesn't scream but focused. That's when I found Stoicism. Not as some poetic philosophy, but as a last line of defense, as a weapon to claw my energy back from the things draining it. Not a mantra, not a quote, but a declaration of war against the chaos I'd let live rent-free in my mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's not a quote, that's not a quote. A reminder from a man who led armies while battling storms inside himself. It means you stop bleeding energy into things that don't deserve it. You stop giving your peace away like it's nothing. This isn't about pretending life is easy. It's about becoming unshakable in the middle of the fire. It's about rising when everything says you should collapse. Today is not a lesson. It's a reckoning. You're about to remember who you are. We're not walking through 5 soft tips. We're tearing through 5 brutal truths that will force your energy back into your hands. Each one laced with stoic grit, real-world scars and raw fire that'll hit harder than any pep talk. This isn't for the weak. This is for the ones who are sick of being tired, sick of being scattered, sick of waking up with no fight left. You're not broken, you're drained, and we're about to change that. Before we start, I want you to do something with intention, not lazily, not like it's a habit. I want you to hit that like button like you're punching the ground and refusing to stay down. Drop a comment below. I am the master of my energy. Say it like you mean it. Share this with someone you know is crumbling behind a strong face. And subscribe, because what's coming next isn't just content. It's a fire lit straight into your nervous system. Now close your eyes, breathe in. You're standing at the edge of something bigger than comfort. A storm is behind you, the path ahead is wild, unpredictable, but it's yours. You feel it in your gut. It's time. Let's begin. Number 1, cut off the leaks. Energy is bled, not stolen. Your strength isn't ripped from you in one dramatic moment. It's not stolen in broad daylight by some obvious enemy. It disappears slowly, quietly, in moments so small you don't even notice until one day you're on your knees, hollowed out, wondering how the fire turned to ashes. You didn't lose your power, you bled it. Tiny drops, silent leaks given away every time you chose peace over self-respect, comfort over clarity, or noise over your own goddamn soul. You don't collapse from a single punch. You crumble from 1,000 ignored instincts. That text you knew you shouldn't answer. That room you knew you shouldn't enter. That person you knew you should have let go. But you stayed. You said yes, with a tight jaw. You stayed calm while your spirit screamed. That's the cost. You betray yourself to keep the wrong peace and wonder why your soul won't settle. People don't break you. They weigh you down. They drain you slowly by expecting you to carry their chaos. They don't ask how you're doing, they just keep taking. And the worst part, you let them. You handed them the knife. You opened the gate and told them your weak spots. And they stabbed again and again while smiling in your face and calling it love. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment." Now that's not just philosophy, that's blood-wrapped truth. It means this: you suffer because you keep assigning weight to things that don't deserve your energy. You bleed because you keep letting worthless opinions dictate your worth. The pain isn't out there, it's in how you let it in. You're not exhausted. You're overextended. You're not confused. You're surrounded by noise. Your spirit isn't broken. It's suffocating under the weight of all the things you said yes to when your gut was screaming no. You're leaking. Not because you're weak, but because you haven't locked the doors on the parts of your life that need to stay out. Cut off the access. Clean, ruthless, silent. Let the door slam, let the silence stretch, let the absence echo. You don't need to explain why you're leaving, just leave. You don't need to send a final message. Your silence will be the loudest thing they've ever heard. You are not a well for the ungrateful. You are not a charger for people who keep draining you. You are not a crutch for those who refuse to walk on their own. You are fire. You are steel. You are sacred ground. And not everyone deserves to stand on you. Cut off the leaks. Not later, not gently. Now, because every drop of energy you waste on the wrong people is stolen from the man you were meant to become. Number 2. Your attention is your kingdom. Guard it with teeth. What you give your attention to is what you give your life to. It's that simple. Every second you look at something, think about someone, argue about nothing, it's all rent-free, space in your head, and they're squatting in your kingdom. That's not just time wasted. That's a crown dropped. That's a throne handed to fools. Your attention is gold in a world starved for meaning. And if you hand it out like candy, don't cry when you're broke, drained, and lost in a life that doesn't even feel like yours anymore. You don't lose your focus in one big crash. You get chipped away, notification by notification, drama by drama, doom scroll by doom scroll. 1 second you're thinking about your future, and the next you're watching strangers argue online about things that have nothing to do with your path. 1 second you're in your body, and the next you're a ghost, drifting through other people's noise. Trapped in a digital maze that feeds on your soul and spits out distraction, and you wonder why you're anxious. You wonder why you're tired all the time. You wonder why your goals keep slipping through your fingers like smoke. It's because your mind is no longer yours. It's been hijacked. Not by some villain in the dark, but by the slow poison of wasted attention. You are not broken. You're just bleeding out through your focus. Seneca once wrote, "There is nothing the busy man is less busy with than living." That's the dagger. That's the wake-up call. You can spend your entire life doing everything except the one thing that matters. Living with intention, breathing in your present moment, building your future with precision, protecting your mind like it's your last weapon, because it is. You don't owe your attention to every message, every opinion, every trend, every crisis that flashes across your screen. You don't need to keep up. You don't need to be available. You don't need to answer. In fact, the more you pull your focus inward, the clearer everything becomes. What they call missing out, you'll call freedom. What they call rude, you'll call peace. Lock the gates, draw the line. If it doesn't build you, it's breaking you. If it doesn't lift your vision, it's lowering your power. Every glance, every scroll, every swipe, it all adds up. One careless click, and you're off track. One conversation with the wrong person, and you're questioning your worth again. Attention is energy, and energy is everything. Guard it with teeth, SN if you have to. Rip the race back into your hands. Turn your phone off without guilt. Leave messages on read without shame. Let people think what they want while you build in silence. Your future isn't built by being liked. It's built by being locked in, obsessed, dialed in like your life depends on it. Because it does. They want your attention because it's power. The more they have, the less you do. Every algorithm is designed to keep you chasing. Every platform is designed to keep you scrolling. But you weren't born to be fed crumbs by machines. You weren't made to be distracted to death. You were built for war. And focus is your sword. Your attention is your kingdom. And you are either the ruthless king guarding it, or the servant handing out the keys. Choose wisely, because what you focus on you fuel, and what you fuel becomes your fate. Number 3. Stop explaining yourself. Your energy isn't a negotiation. There comes a time when you have to stop breaking yourself down just to be understood by people who've already decided not to hear you. You weren't born to be a press release, or you weren't put on this earth to be picked apart, second-guessed, or put on trial. Every time you choose peace over performance, let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them twist the story. You do not let exist to babysit someone else's perception of you. Every time you explain yourself to people who don't respect you, you leak. Your power seeps out between every word you say, trying to justify why you pulled back, why you left the room, why you didn't reply, why your spirit didn't match their dysfunction. You are not rude, you're not cold, you're not arrogant, you're clear. In clarity, it scares those who depend on confusion to keep control. You don't owe an explanation for the way you protect your soul. You don't have to hand over your reasons like receipts every time you set a boundary. If your silence bothers them, it's because it echoes louder than any excuse ever could. People who respect themselves don't chase validation. They don't beg to be understood. They move with or without applause, and they let the results speak. Epictetus said it with brutal simplicity. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these." That's not just confidence. That's command. That's the kind of self-possession that turns noise into background static. You don't need to shrink to make others feel comfortable. You don't need to explain truth to people addicted to lies. Let them choke on their assumptions. You've got empires to build. The more you explain, the more power you give away. The more you argue, the more you scatter your energy across battles that don't belong to you. And the people who demand the most explanation, they're the ones who never plan to believe you anyway. They're not listening. They're collecting ammo. Stop handing them the bullets. Start walking in silence. Let your distance be the only answer they get. Let your absence carve more truth than words ever could. The moment you stop explaining is the moment you start reclaiming your energy, your peace, your power. If your presence is questioned, let your absence speak volumes. If your boundaries are challenged, enforce them without blinking. No apologies, no justification, just action. You are not a debate. You are not an option. You are not a customer service rep for your own spirit. You are not here to break yourself down into bite-sized pieces for people who refuse to digest the full truth of who you are. Let them chew on the silence. Let them sit with the echo of your non-response. Let them wonder why you stopped showing up, and let them never get the answer. Your energy isn't a negotiation, it's a declaration. And once you make peace with being misunderstood, you become untouchable. Number 4, master your mornings. That's where your energy is forged. The battle for your life doesn't start in the loud moments. It starts in the silence. It starts in the first breath you take before the world starts pulling at your throat. Your morning isn't just another part of your day. It's the furnace. It's the forge. It's where your energy, mindset, and momentum are either built like iron or broken like glass. You don't rise with strength by accident. You train for it, you earn it, and it begins the second your eyes open. If the first thing you reach for is your phone, you've already lost. You've handed over the wheel before you've even stood up. Before your feet hit the ground, you've let strangers into your head, let headlines shape your mood, and let the noise of the world invade the calm. You were meant to command. You can't lead your day when you started like a servant, scrolling, reacting, consuming. Your mind was made for clarity, not chaos. Your power comes from what you do when nobody's watching, from how you breathe in the dark, from how you sit in the stillness and face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. Morning is where you plant your flag. It's where you decide, today I run this show, not my cravings, not my mood, not my past. Me, and that decision, the one you make before the world wakes up, is what sets the tone for everything else. The Stoics understood this. Discipline wasn't a buzzword for them, it was armor, it was sacred. Marcus Aurelius would rise and remind himself, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love, not out of sweetness but strategy, because the man who commands his mornings builds his own weather. Storms don't shake him, people don't rattle him. He's been up before the noise, sharpening his edge in silence. If you wake up late, skip your rituals, rush into the world like you're always behind, then don't be surprised when life keeps chewing you up and spitting you out. You're not grounded. You're scattered, and scattered men don't lead. They chase, they react, they collapse. You want clarity, earn it. Sit in the quiet, meditate, write, sweat, reflect, move with intent. This isn't a motivational trend. It's a survival tactic in a world built to distract and dismantle you. Your morning is sacred ground. It's the one time of day when the world hasn't infected you yet. Guard it like a wolf guards its den. Carve out space. Build your mind before they try to break it. Move your body before the weight of the day presses on it. Breathe deep before the chaos begins. That's not a luxury, that's a requirement. If you plan to lead your life with fire, you don't master your mornings because it's cute or trendy. You master them because they sharpen your will, quiet your demons, and light a fire that no one can put out. You don't need an hour routine, you need a non-negotiable start. Something you own, something that builds your spine before the world tries to bend it so. Wake up early, wake up hungry, wake up like a man who knows he has work to do, not just outside, but inside. Because if you don't command your mornings, the world will. And the world doesn't care about your peace. It wants your attention, your focus, your soul. Rip it back. Your energy is forged before breakfast. Not in the meetings, not in the gym, not on the battlefield. In the silence, in the stillness, in the fight you win before the day begins. Number 5. Stop giving first-class energy to economy people. You're running yourself into the ground. Bleeding your brilliance into the hands of people who treat it like it's nothing more than pocket change. You keep showing up full of fire for people made of ash. You keep handing out your peace to souls that only know how to poison it, and deep down you feel it. You're burning out, not from the work but from the weight of being unappreciated by the very ones you're breaking yourself for. You give the best hours of your day, the clearest parts of your mind, the deepest corners of your heart, to people who wouldn't cross the street for you if you were drowning. You pour loyalty into people who will leave you hanging the second your shine dims. You explain yourself to cowards. You beg for decency from the emotionally bankrupt. You're trying to build palaces with people who only bring wrecking balls, and it's killing you. Stop. Your soul wasn't built for discounts. Your time isn't up for grabs. Your energy isn't some vending machine that hands out warmth to anyone who presses a button. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You know what that means? Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you're cold. Let them choke on your silence. Because protecting your energy will always offend those who are feeding off it. You keep trying to save the ungrateful, but you're not their savior, you're their supply. You're their emotional crutch, their emergency hotline, their punching bag wrapped in politeness. And every time you say yes to them, you're saying no to your own peace. Every time you bite your tongue, hold back, give more, they grow stronger off your weakness. You're not helping, you're enabling your own destruction. It's time to burn the bridge, not for revenge, but for rebirth. You walk away with no words, no explanation, no dramatic exit. Just cold silence and a locked door. Because when someone drains you over and over again, they don't deserve closure. They deserve distance, and the kind that echoes. You weren't built to water dead plants. You weren't born to be milked dry by takers who mask their selfishness with need. Start pouring into people who pour back. Start protecting your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. The wrong people won't just waste your time. They'll warp your self-worth, sabotage your focus, and leave your spirit bleeding out in places where no one notices. So, take a hard look at who you're feeding, who's eating at your table, who you answer texts from at a.m, who you rearrange your peace for. Ask yourself this: would they bleed for you like you've bled for them, or would they step over your body without flinching? Your energy is holy ground. Not everyone should have access, and the more you let the unworthy in, the more you teach them that your soul is cheap. So stop giving first-class fire to people flying standby in your life. Let them miss the flight and never let them board again. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: your energy is your greatest weapon. It's the secret source to everything you want. Forget the endless clock watching. You don't need more time, you need more energy. Time will always slip away. Energy though, that's something you control. And once you do, you own everything. But mastering it, that's not going to happen through some app, some productivity checklist, or a pile of books. It starts in the trenches. It starts with your choices. What you say yes to, what you say no to, and most importantly, what you let into your mind. It starts with cutting the noise, the distractions, the leeches, the people and habits that drain you dry. Say no more often. Say it to people who take more than they give. Say it to the habits that keep you stuck. Say it to anything that doesn't serve your higher self. And protect your peace like a lion protects its den, because once it's gone, you'll feel the chaos creeping in. When your energy is clean, your mind clears, your decisions get sharper, your presence gets louder. You walk in a room and people feel the shift, and the people who once tried to throw you off course, they get quieter, not because they back off, but because you stopped giving them the mic, you stopped handing over your power. Thanks for watching, Stoic friends. If this video hit you hard, drop a comment and tell me what part shook you the most. I want to hear it. I want to feel the weight of this transformation with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because we're not just passing through this. We're building something real here. A community that understands the power of energy, of focus, and of unbreakable will. And remember, your energy is not cheap, so stop giving out discounts. See you in the next one. Stay grounded, stay powerful, stay stoic. Conclusion: your energy is sacred. It is the wellspring of your clarity, your focus, and your ability to rise above distractions and chaos. These 5 brutal stoic truths are not just ideas, but tools. Tools to cut through noise, to fortify your discipline, and to return power to your hands. You now know that silence can speak louder than validation, that boundaries are acts of strength, and that focus is your ultimate currency. From this moment forward, let every no be a declaration of self-respect. Let every boundary you draw be a line that leads you back to yourself. Master your mornings, guard your attention, reclaim your power. Not tomorrow now, because your energy creates your reality. And the stronger your energy, the stronger your life.